I guess so. My bad.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to get together and conduct people's business. We appreciate you getting us through the rough weather last night and pray for all of our employees that are out working in the heat. Ask that you keep them safe. And in your name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, sir. Sorry about that. First item up on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Gonna be one of those days. Item number 2, discussion and possible action on claims.
There's the claims.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for approval of claims. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 3 is the blanket. Any changes? There is a change. Ms. McMahon.
Good morning. We had 2 requests come in after the deadline. The first one is 126-01834 for the Sheriff's Office to Fleet Corps in the amount of $40,000. The second one is 126-00674 for the Sheriff's Office, and that is for Leads Online in the amount of $7,250.
Is there a motion to approve with
Motion to
changes?
approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve with changes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 4 through 13 is our consent. Is there a motion to approve consent?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Consent is approved. Item number 14 is discussion possible action to authorize the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners for our second demand letter to Oklahoma Department of Mental Health Services. This is for our 1.5 to get back that we donated for the Donahue Center that is now not being constructed.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a letter that we have in front of you. This is based off of conversations I understand that ODMH had with all 3 of our offices. So what we have in this letter is a partial request for $750,000 to the county within 20 days of receipt of this letter as partial repayment for the $1.5 million requested for repaying. Repayment following OKDMH SAS failure to secure funding to a new mental health hospital in Oklahoma County. This partial remittance would not relieve ODMH of their obligation to return the $1.5 million as we originally requested. But we think it's fair, understanding in our conversations that they have money on hand with OSU, that we could ask for a partial remittance. So I'll ask for approval.
Any questions?
Yes, and we've had conversations with them, and they have indicated that they do have money on hand. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm happy that all of the commissioners agree that we need to move forward and with this demand letter and try to recoup some of these monies that we've given them.
Absolutely.
Move the motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go, Ryan.
The next item is with CSU's Youth Services. This is our renewed contract with them. Under the previous contract, we had concerns that the KPIs that were set forth left their project at jeopardy when it came to the Treasury Department getting those funds back, and that what we had currently in the KPIs was not within the project scope of what they were doing. So we adjusted those KPIs to fit their entire project, and so it will be for completion of architectural and design work, acquisition of owner's representative, and pre-construction services for phase 2 of their campus build-out. Once phase 2 is completed, CSU will provide secure outdoor recreational space, a medical clinic, classroom and program space, as well as 6 transitional housing units for those that utilize their service. So CSU's Executive Director, Rachel Bradley, is here. She has some words as well.
Before that happens, is there, Paul or Brandy, could you go down? There's some problem in security, and our Citizens Oversight Committee chairman is trying to get in, and he's there's some holdup there and he wants to be here for this meeting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
to move on.
please.
First, I want to thank everybody for, especially Commissioner Lowe, for helping us to clear up that vague and conflicting language from the previous contract so our project timeline can work within your required framework for the funding. We're truly grateful for that opportunity. We believe addressing youth homelessness must be a priority for any great community, and this partnership shows that our leaders are committed to being part of that collaborative solution. So we appreciate the trust you've placed in us. We want you to know that we're committed to continuing to work with our neighbors, our community, and anyone who's interested in providing hope and a path forward for young people. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I do want to share why your support matters and why this project matters. Over the past 7 years, we have seen more than a 400% increase in youth experiencing homelessness in our community. Last year, we served over 500 young people through our programs. We served more than 14,000 meals in our shelter and drop-in center, and we housed more than 71 in our housing programs, including 11 babies of young parents. At CC, we know that the earlier that we can intervene in someone's experience with homelessness, the fewer of those long-term barriers they're going to encounter, and the easier it is to get them back into the community in a way that will be positive long-term stability for them. That's why we're focusing on this population, and when they're just starting out in adulthood, why it's important. It may surprise you to know that CESU is not an acronym, but it is a Finnish word. It roughly translates to mean something along the lines of tenacity, resilience, bravery in the face of adversity. The idea is that life is hard and we're going to do it anyways. And so that's the mission statement in a word and what we try to build into our young people that we work with every day. We created our space where they can just take a breath, come into a caring environment, get support from trained adults, and who will walk alongside them as they navigate their journey into adulthood and independence. The completion of this campus will empower our staff, volunteers, and community to support youth in so many ways. Like you mentioned, it'll include that on-site medical, behavioral, and mental health care, as well as individual case management, some skill building classes, and that transitional housing on-site that we can provide a little bit more flexibility that's not currently available in our community. So thanks to this project and the work you're supporting today, young people will soon have many more options to be able to help them as they transition into adulthood. It's life-changing. We don't take that lightly. We don't take your support lightly. So we appreciate that, and we're grateful for that ongoing support and the partnership that y'all will provide. So thank you again.
Anything?
Yes, a couple of comments. First of all, thank you for the work that you're doing. I support your organization 100%. I've said it from day one. We had a jail trust meeting, I believe a couple of days ago, and they talked about homelessness in the Oklahoma County Jail and how that is such a big problem. I see, as a criminal defense lawyer, that folks are being incarcerated for basically being homeless. And it's a tough issue. And organizations like yours is on the front lines of trying to solve this problem. So I'm happy that we came to a meeting of the minds on this particular issue, and we're moving forward. And you guys are going to have the county funds, and I'm excited to see exactly what you do with all of it. And good luck and all the best.
Thank you.
Motion to approve a new agreement with CISU Youth Services.
There's a motion.
The way these funds were divided was by a third, a third, and a third. So my motion to withdraw the original contract is because that's what Commissioner Lowe wanted to do, and him wanting to do it is because this is what Commissioner Lowe wants to do, because this is from the District 1 funds. So I second it.
I want to, as the one person that has worked in the nonprofit world and assisted homeless and done work for Homeless Aid, and I appreciate what you do. I know how difficult it is. I know how important it is to intervene early with the youth, and working with the youth is many more times it's a whole lot more difficult because it's breaking them out and getting them away from the things that are causing them harm. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you for tackling such a huge issue for our city. And as you stated, I mean, we've got 1,800 plus in our most recent point in time count. We have a homeless problem, and it's something that the city and the county as a whole need to come together and start addressing.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Appreciate it.
There's a motion to approve and a second. All in favor? Aye. Item number 16 is a REAP grant.
Yes, Commissioners. So in February, we applied for a ACOG REAP grant and $313,000 for the Spencer sidewalk. The last couple weeks, we finished that project. We had a wonderful ribbon cutting for that. Really good turnout. The community really showed out for us, and you know, this sidewalk was very important to our office as far as connecting the Spencer community. This sidewalk is nearly a mile long and goes in front of Spencer High School and wraps around and will connect their city hall and their first responder stations and down to the gas station for students to be able to walk to and so forth. So this is just a showing that it was satisfactorily complete. And I think the last thing to note was that we were able to get this project completed before the start of the school year, which is really big for us. So with that, I'll ask for approval.
And I would like to add, I'm very grateful for this sidewalk project. Connectivity was an issue as far as school to City Hall, making sure that our kids are safe while walking to school, and also the elderly. And I really do want to shout out our county clerk, Rick Warren. He also attended the ribbon cutting ceremony. He is a graduate of Spencer High School, and it was just nice seeing him out there, and I appreciate the support. I move to approve this motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor? Aye.
We'll let him know that you promoted him.
Or demoted him. It depends on who you talk to, I guess.
He's the court clerk.
Yeah.
Morning, Commissioners.
All right. Item number 17
Morning,
is
Commissioners.
discussion
We'd
and
ask that
possible
you-
action.
Yep,
Go ahead.
we'd ask that you'd strike item number 17, and matter of fact, item number 25. They are unfortunately duplicates of other items on the agenda.
Okay.
Is it necessary or just move on?
We don't need to strike them. It's not necessary. Item number 18.
18, as you know, the Citizens Bond Oversight Advisory Board met yesterday and unanimously recommended the sale of the remaining bonds to begin construction of the Oklahoma County Detention Center. So this item is to accept and/or action on that recommendation.
He's here.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve Mason. I chair the Citizens Bond Oversight Advisory Committee. Yesterday we met and we recommend using the remaining bond ability. It's about $215 million to continue with the new county detention facility. What it will build is a kitchen, which will then serve the existing county jail where we wash clothes. It will build that. And most importantly, it will build intake and diversion. Right now, the intake is difficult at the county jail. With this new, well-defined intake, it will put officers back on the street faster. Intake will be faster. Also, the diversion will work faster because there'll be rooms and the ability to divert. So we recommend proceeding to spend this money. It will help with diversion and getting officers back on the street sooner. I'm here to answer any questions.
I appreciate the fact that you guys were innovative and thoughtful about how to not be wasteful but resourceful with our money that we do have on hand as we work to get a solution for the funding gap to build the rest of the jail. And this is allowing our crews and our engineers and all those that we've already enlisted on this effort to continue to be productive in a way that's going to be connecting to the whole complete project. So my hat's off to you. You did a lot of work on this and your fellow committee members. I want to thank you so much for all your volunteer time that you give back to this county and really helping us with a very difficult situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And also, we need to thank Mr. Trumbo and his team, their engineer. This plan, with our input, his team developed. So, Stacy, thanks for being here.
I do have a couple of questions, and I also want to thank you for the hard work that your team, the board, has done. I know it's a tough situation, and I think I can speak for all of the commissioners when we say we all want to solve this problem, which is the Oklahoma County Jail. But my concerns are um, right now we don't know how we're going to pay for an entire jail to be built. Uh, I believe that the taxpayers have to make that decision. Do they want to continue with a jail that is basically killing folks? Do they want to continue with a jail that's inhumane? And I don't think we need to make that decision as politicians or elected officials. It needs to be the voters. And it needs to be before the voters whether they decide to move forward with this jail or not. So, but my concern is that there's a possibility that they might reject this proposal. Um, so are you concerned that we're spending $200 million on something that is not a certainty?
What we are spending, I understand exactly what you're saying, and Mr. Davison spoke publicly about the future plans for funding. I would defer to him on that question. What it does accomplish, intake is faster. It puts the officers back on the street faster. Also, what we would build would have better diversion options in there and processes. So the goal of diverting people out of there, out of the existing county jail, will improve. The behavioral care that is being built with the ARPA money, approximately $44 million, needs intake. So this middle piece that would serve both the jail and behavioral care is needed for behavioral care to function. It's very important for the diversion process into behavioral care. And then also saying some of these people that end up upstairs at the jail don't need to be here, and helping release them, keep them out of there. So it's an important step for officers on the street and diversion.
Yes, and I totally agree with you on that aspect of it. The current jail is not a place where we can get those things done, I don't believe. But my concern is operational cost. When we have two sites being in operation or being at the same time, how are we going to pay for it? Based on the fact that right now we can't really pay for our current jail. And for us to now have to pay for the operational cost for the one behavioral center, and also half, quote unquote, half of a jail. How are we going to do that if this tax doesn't pass? How do we do that?
That's a great question. There's two parts to that answer. First of all, we are building a behavioral care facility, I believe with 60 beds, 40 or 60, 60 beds, that we don't have now. So even before we get to today's question of the 215, we have a behavioral care facility that's going to require additional funding. I don't know what the plan is to pay for those 60 beds to operate. Now, the commissioners could say, we don't have any new money, don't turn it on. So that's a question the commissioners will have to decide. As far as the additional cost of operating diversion, it will require some more staff to divert these people out of this jail that don't need to be there. And how that's to be funded, I don't approve that budget.
Yes, and just to provide a little bit of clarity to my question, my concern is that this doesn't pass, okay, the tax. And I think, as I said, this needs to go before the voters. And hopefully it does, say in April or June or whatever. It needs to go as soon as possible. I prefer October, but that's another issue for another day. But it needs to go before the voters, and they need to make that decision. But my concern, if they were to reject this, we're going to be in a bad situation. We're going to be in a horrible situation based on the fact that we're going to have additional expenses as far as operational costs for half of a jail and also the current site and also the behavioral health center. I'm concerned about how are we going to pay for it? Why don't we wait, okay, get this tax passed, we're guaranteed the funds, and then we move on with the behavioral health center, we move on with the jail, and get this stuff built. I just think we're moving a little bit too fast as far as not making sure we have the funding. You know, you're not going to take a loan out and hope that you get approved. I mean, so I just thought, could you provide me with some clarity on what your reasoning or the board's reasoning is on that particular issue?
As far as operations money to fund it, our job is to get a facility built and designed and sited. As far as how to pay for it, the operations, we've had very little discussions about that. We decided that 44 million of ARPA money for 60 mental health beds that are brand new is a heck of a lot better than the mental health facility upstairs today, which doesn't exist, and those poor souls are sent there. And the diversion and getting officers on the streets as far as how to fund the operations, I don't have a good answer for you. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I just think we have to keep moving forward now is the answer to your question, Commissioner, because we have all these people on retainer. They've been working on this. The cost of this project went up exorbitantly in the middle of it. Unfortunately, got us hung on the fence. But we will lose all of the people that we have enlisted on this project if we just stop and cease construction altogether. And then to come back and try to reassemble a team, could be even more expensive as we go along. This is a resourceful way to continue to keep all the people we've already had retained being productive in the meantime. And then, of course, it's apparent upon the voters that they're going to have to come to the table and decide, as you say, whether or not we're going to go forward with this. And we can't control that outcome, but all we can do is present them with the best case scenario. And this is the cost-saving way to move forward for now. It will be more expensive if we stop construction altogether and then lose all the people that we have enlisted on this that went through open bids and all the stuff for the committee to go through voluminous information to decide on who to pick to build the jail. And if we disband all that and then come back at some future point after a voter approval to reassemble that team will be exorbitantly more expensive.
Yes, sir. And yes, sir, that's true. And, President Kennedy in 1962 at Rice Stadium spoke about going to the moon. And one of his lines is, why do we do difficult things? Sometimes because they're difficult. And this is very difficult. But it's also a humane solution to our neighbors that are stuck in that mess. So part of it is, it's a humane answer. We got to figure it out. And I appreciate your comment, Commissioner. Well, maybe we should wait. But waiting is deadly.
And I just want to make sure I'm clear here that I agree with you. We have a problem at the Oklahoma County Jail. I think no one in this county doesn't believe. We've seen the news reports. We know family members that have been incarcerated at the Oklahoma County Jail. We just had a jail trust meeting where individuals are being housed there for, I believe, 2.5 days on average, which is unacceptable on nonviolent offenses. Especially when you bond out, you need to be released immediately. There needs to be a process where you get released as soon as possible, and also citing release. I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in when you're arrested on a public drunk, go to a tank and sober out, or a nonviolent offense, you just get released and then show up to court and litigate your case. You're innocent until proven guilty. So I do believe that there's major problems. But once again, I'm just concerned that if we're in a situation where this does not pass, and as I said, this needs to go to the voters. If this does not pass, we're in a situation where we're going to have to cut and cut and cut and find those monies to house or to operate three facilities actually. The current jail, quote unquote, half of a jail, and also the behavioral health center. That's tough.
It is tough.
Based on the fact what's going on right now. So I understand that costs increase. I understand that, we don't want to, have to bring a team together, a new team together. But I just think that's the most responsible way to move forward, is to make sure that we have the funds to pay for this. You just don't purchase an item and you don't have the money. I just don't understand how we're moving forward that way. But I understand the commissioner's heart as far as they want to solve this problem. I know that they want what's best for Oklahoma County, and I think we all do, but we just want it in a different way. But I think we're all in agreement that the voters need to decide this. It's up to them to decide what we want to do with our jail, how we want to treat people. They decide this. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for being here.
And I understand what you're saying, and your thoughts are reasonable.
Well, let this be clear for the record. There's no question the voters are going to weigh in on this. I mean, this isn't something we can do no matter what. It'll take voter participation. So we're not circumventing that voters are going to weigh in terms of the funding gap. But if there's nothing else further, Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion that we go ahead and sell the remaining $215 million in bonds for this proposed project.
There's a motion. I will second, and with that, I will say, your concern of 2.5 days. You want to fix that? This is the easiest way. These individuals will never enter the jail. This is a more humane, more expedited way to deal with intake. This will also be a $9 million, if you paid attention yesterday at our meeting, HOK and our consultant stood up and said this will be a $9 million savings in operation to run this. If you've been paying attention from the beginning, the behavioral health care, a large part of that's going to be paid for through Medicaid. I would say go back, watch what we've talked about in discussions over the past 3 to 4 years, how we have looked at extensively how to pay for these operations, how to pay for this, and make no mistake, the one thing that he said is, how do we pay for this? The voters gave us $260 million 2 years ago. They told us how to pay for it. This isn't getting rid of this jail. This is supplementing this jail. This is bringing a kitchen out of a basement that floods with sewage on a routine basis. This is bringing a laundry out of that same basement that floods with sewage on a routine basis. This is making a more expedited process, not only for the safety of our citizens and our officers, but for those that are working inside and will be residing inside that jail. This is a humane response to that tower of terror that everybody loves to call it down the street. This is how we fix it. Today is the vote that starts that process. It will not get rid of downtown. We will need to take action to build the rest of this, but this will create a spot for 256 beds for trustees to operate that, of which we have to pay 10 cents a day. That was done statutorily when you were a legislator. These items are addressed. We've got to get this done today, and I would really ask for everybody to vote yes on this and move forward and make a more humane, make it to where our officers can get back out on the streets faster, make it to where the citizens can get back to their jobs faster, make it to where those that are re-entering society can go through a process that assesses them for their reentry and puts them through diversion and gives them the opportunity, not for jobs, for housing, for everything possible that we can get them signed up for, veterans benefits, Social Security, welfare. Let's give the people that not only reside in here, but the people that are funding this, what they asked for and what they deserve. With that, we'll start a vote.
And I would like to add, Commissioner, I have been paying a lot of attention, and since you made the statement as far as moving forward with the vote and voting for the $200 million approximately to be spent, what is your answer as far as if the voters reject this vote, and how are we going to pay for it? If this vote is rejected, if they do not approve additional funding for a new jail, how do we pay for the operational cost for these facilities?
You must have missed it. We're going to have a $9 million savings when we move this operation. Most of the people that do this work currently will be moving from downtown to out to this center.
So you're saying $9 million, that's going to solve the problem?
No.
We're going to be able to pay for all of these facilities with $9 million worth of savings. That's what you're telling us?
No, I'm saying that in the holistic approach to this will save us enough money to operate. There's a magic number here between the Behavioral Health Care Center and our intake, and it's 75 feet. We didn't just come up with that number randomly. We actually extensively studied it and found out that if we moved it 75 feet and moved it away from the incarceration center, that the federal government would actually reimburse us for the people that reside in there. That's not accident. None of this is accident. We have researched this project for years.
Okay, so let's be
Years and
clear
years
here.
and
Let's be
years.
clear. What are you saying? If the voters reject this vote, we're gonna still have enough funds. We're
Yes.
not gonna cut anything. Nothing's gonna be cut, and we're gonna have enough funds.
I will
to
never
operate
say
these
nothing's going to
facilities.
be cut. I'm saying
Okay.
we will have enough funds to operate this.
Okay,
What are we going to cut?
I'm asking you. I mean, you're saying everything is gonna be great.
Where is
That's-
it?
That's what you're saying. You're saying if the voters reject out this vote as far as additional funding for these facilities, well, we're fine. We're good to go. We're going to save $9 million and we're good to go. That's what you're saying, right?
No, I'm saying we're going to be able to save $9 million that gets put into this facility to operate it.
And I
No,
understand.
we're not
that.
going to just magically
But
save
we're
$9
going to need
million.
more than
We're
$9
still going to
million
have to spend it.
in order to run these facilities.
We are. And we've got 42 that we're starting with.
I just want to make sure I understand.
I mean, we can
your position.
continue. I'll continue to educate you on this process. I mean, if
Okay,
you'd
well,
like.
I'm very much educated on what's going on.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
There's been a motion to approve. All those in favor? Aye. Any
Thank-
opposed? There is one abstention. And county management, item number 19.
County manager is unavailable this morning, so I will speak for her. Item number 19 is a facility rental contract with the Oklahoma State Fair for the 2025 Oklahoma County Free Fair 4-H Horse Show to be held September the 6th. The amount is not to exceed $6,013.70.
I'll move the item.
There's a
Second.
motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Emergency management, Mr. Barnes. This looks like our Deer Creek, oh, you're not Mr. Barnes, Deer Creek Annual Fire Agreement. Anything,
Just
standard renewal?
routine, standard renewal.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Engineering, Mr. Trumbo.
This will be a public hearing, so you need to open said hearing. Move to open the public hearing.
There's a motion. I'll second to open the public hearing. All those in favor? Aye.
This is 10th Street in the downtown area between Robinson and Harvey. It really right now is just an alley. It's where the original 66-foot statutory right-of-way exists. 10th Street was built off to the south, a block or two years ago. And so the request now is to close that alley, which is really your statutory right-of-way. I don't have any objection because it's got a substitute road and it's not functional in its current condition. It's probably not even 66 foot wide at this point. But we do have to go through a public hearing process, let the citizens be for or against, and then we decide the issue at the end of the hearing.
Is there anyone here to speak against or for the easement on 10th Street? Is it about 10th Street? Okay, speak about 10th Street. Once you get out of, that's not what we talked about. That's not this item, sorry. You cannot speak.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen of this illustrious
Mr.
group.
Washington, you have to speak about 10th Street. If you do not, you will be escorted out. Thank you.
Man, shut up. I'm talking. Now, 10th Street, no, I don't give a doggone if I even heard about it. 10th Street. Now, let's see what he just said now, since I got 3 minutes. Now, buddy, now, since you shut your mouth. Now, discussion and possible action in public hearing regarding resolution 2025-3280 to abandon a portion of a section line statutory right-of-way located along Northwest 10th Street between Robinson Avenue and Harvey Avenue, and a portion of Northwest 10th Street that was a part of whomever I don't see the rest. Well, now, this gentleman here just proposed that, Brother Mr. Stacy, that we close an alley there. May be a good cause, may not be a good cause. I may need to kind of investigate and visit that area before I make a decision. However, I would like to say, if you feel it's for the betterment of society and the homeless and of those who may be accosted by that particular environment there, maybe there have been some robberies or people being hurt or whatever the case has been, or maybe dogs biting people, whatever, then I say, yes, that is a good agreement to us. However, who are you going to be harming and investigating and preventing and promoting who may have had access to that and get one point from point A to point Z. Yes, I stay ready to keep them getting ready because that's Michael White. You know, I don't need any kind of conversation. I don't need any predetermination. Okay? So that being the case, then let us see before we close this thing out how many people are going to be affected negatively and positively by it before action is actually taken. Who wants this place closed? I don't have an objection as a man just mimicked, but I want to know why is it necessary to close it down? Would it help us? Would it save money? Will people have a better access to movement? Is it going to help the Freedom Center? Is it going to help the Oklahoma City Thunder migration? What is it going to do? We're just saying we want it. The people deserve more, and we need to give it to them. Without it, without recognizing them, and a sudden change comes about, it is not fair to them, then is it, to just say, oh, here it is, something that's a fly-by-night type of thing has happened to me today. Well, I say to you, let's think about it before we make that rash decision. Because rash is something because I didn't even know about this plan was coming about. But I think I do need to start coming more regularly now to this particular meeting here, commissioner meeting. Yes, people need to hear the voice of the voiceless, which I am. And I say for that, let's give it another opportunity before we actually rise to the occasion here. And with that, with only 17 seconds left, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I apologize for asking you to shut up. That's really not me. Forgive me. And with that, I'm not too big of a man. And with that, with 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, sir. I'll be back.
Would you like to speak for your case, anybody? Ma'am?
Good morning, Caitlin Turner, 525 Northwest 11th Street. Not on behalf of the applicant this morning, but just wanted to let you all know that this is just cleaning up the site for future development. It has already gone through the closing process with Oklahoma City Planning Commission and City Council, and then pending today's outcome, we'll start the formal vacation process in District Court. So happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Any questions?
Just let you know, this was in the Journal Record, July 11th, 18th, and 25th for public notice.
Okay. Any questions?
Oh, motion to approve.
Well, hold on, we gotta make a motion to close the public hearing first. Go ahead, you can make that.
Motion to close public hearing.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I don't know what's going on with the machines. It was Commissioner Munn. There you go. All right. Now, Commissioner Lowe, if you'd like to make your motion to vacate.
Yes, motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item number 22, policy and governance. Mr. Foster.
Yes, Commissioners, this is a motion to use the remaining, there was $1 million of unspent ARPA funds in the benefits COVID medical claims project, and policy and governance has recommended that those funds be divided equally amongst the 3 districts to use for your existing subrecipients of your choosing.
What happens to the extra penny?
Well, I guess you can argue amongst yourselves for that one.
Mr. Lowe, do you want the extra penny?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it. All right, I'll move their recommendation.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Item number 23 is an interlocal agreement between the BOCC and Buy Board Purchasing Cooperative. That is another way for us to actually avoid the RFP process if necessary. It's just an additional measure to acquire discounted products and services that we might need on a daily basis.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion
Second.
and a second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Item
Item number 24. P card. Ashley, Is this just, oh no, this is an update.
This is just an update. We have several changes. We removed the previous user from District 1 from the master list. We removed the previous social services card from the master list. We are asking to increase District 3's limit to 20,000, and we're asking to add me as a card user in the administrator with the intent of closing out Chantel's card eventually
Okay.
as we move subscriptions.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Thank you, Ashley. Item number 25 was the duplicate. Item number 26 is infrastructure.
Yeah, item number 26 for the placement of the treasurer's record storage in 3 offices in the northwest corner of the 9th floor of the courthouse building. Treasurer will also be doing some modifications and renovations to their space to accommodate their record storage as well. The initial estimate for their renovation it was estimated somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000, and that will be coming out of the treasurer's budget. And this item was approved by infrastructure on August 11th for recommendation.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Okay, what happened? Yeah, I got you. It's just the machine's going nuts. All those in favor?
Aye.
Commissioners' comments. Commissioner One?
None.
Commissioner Lowe?
I would like
Oh.
to thank Commissioner Mon. Yesterday, he had an event with the Shine program that he's a part of. And I'd like to share a quick story, if you don't mind, about the Shine program. I had a client, I'm a criminal defense lawyer as well as a county commissioner. I had a client years ago, about 10 years ago, that was on probation for a nonviolent offense. He had a drug problem. And he couldn't get his community service done. I used to tell him, hey, get your community service done, get your community service done. If you get your community service done, the suspended application to revoke your sentence will be dismissed by the judge. So we would go back and forth, we would go to court, he would not get it done. I was like, hey, go to a local church and get your community service done. And then he would do like 10 hours when he would need to do like 30 hours, and he would never get it done. So we went to court one last time, and the judge said, hey, you're not getting the community service done. I'm gonna have to, incarcerate you. He was like, I want another opportunity. So what the judge did was court order him to go to the Shine program and get his community service done. He went to the Shine program, he got it done, and the reason he got it done is because he had some type of structure. And that was what he was missing, is some type of structure. So that was what the Shine program afforded him, was some structure. I saw this gentleman approximately 3 years ago, and I'm happy to say he looks healthy. He's employed, and I would imagine that he's still doing well. So I just want to thank your program for the work that it's done. It has made an impact, and we're grateful for the program.
I do want to say thank you to Commissioner Lowe and your entire team for being there last night. That meant a lot. I appreciate it. And, it was a great partnership with OCCC, and we're lucky to have so many of our Oklahoma stars that are willing to chip in and help and make our state a better place. And so I wasn't going to say anything about it today, but thank you for the comment, Commissioner.
OCCC's always been a great partner for you and
Yeah.
Shine. So, let's see. Mr. Green, I've got you signed up to speak. If commissioners, if we can get this done before executive session without objection. Mr. Green, you got 3 minutes to speak.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me the time. I wanted to stop in as a voter and someone that works with a lot of voters, and today in my capacity as director of ORCA, Oklahoma's for Responsible Cannabis Action, to speak on behalf of patients and industry across the state. Obviously, we'd seen some talk last week that was reported on about having a tax on medical marijuana patients in order to help fund things. Obviously, we are flat against that. It's important to know that Oklahoma has the third highest effective tax rate on medical marijuana in the nation. It's also important to note that we opposed Senate Bill 1125 in this in the first half of the legislative session. It's available for a Senate floor vote. We're all over it. We will do absolutely everything we can to kill that bill, which would give the county the authority to actually put that forward. The other thing that folks really should bear in mind is that State Question 788 went over with close to 65% support in Oklahoma County. I would just simply advise against utilizing that sort of a tax for any funding mechanism in Oklahoma County, and just know that respectfully that we will show up to do everything we can to defeat that tax and anything attached to it. It's just a professional courtesy to say that now, okay? Now, because we have never been the Just Say No crowd, we are working on something to benefit county and municipal governments. That is in the form of State Question 837 that we are in the field gathering signatures for now. It is a constitutional amendment. It would allow adult use sales to those over 21 years of age. The most important part to this body would likely be how we handle taxation and revenue. What we do is we eliminate the 7% tax on medical marijuana, and we place a 10% excise tax in addition to the state, local, and city sales taxes on sales to those over the age of 21 who show a state ID. That 10% excise is then divided 40% to the state, who has been a horrible steward of our money, and is then 30% is given to county, 30% is given to municipality. In the eventuality that we're in an unincorporated area, the state and the county split the dollars 50-50. We are working on some projections based on a lot of data that we will be able to share in the future. We will give you an idea of what that would mean. We are not here pitching a lottery saying that we're going to save education. What we are saying, though, is that there will be substantial funds for a county like Oklahoma County to help. Again, we're not here to say you can't do this without saying we are here to provide a better option. Just wanted to let you guys know that's kind of where we're coming from. So with that, I appreciate your time. Hope you all have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Any new business? Seeing none, is there a motion to recess into executive session? There's a motion. Is there a second? And a second. All those in favor? Aye. We stand in recess. Holy crap, I didn't even think about that. She does. You're gonna have to explain that to her, because we let that creepy old guys. You want a second coming back?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to return. All those in favor? Aye. Just real quick, items 28 and 29 will be deferred to next BOCC. Item 27, is there a motion to proceed as discussed?
Motion.
It's actually another item
Which, oh, is it really?
for call to action
For-
stuff. You're looking at the executive session.
Sorry. Items 31 and 32 will be deferred, and is there a motion for item 30 to proceed as discussed? Thanks, Commissioner.
Did he make that motion?
Did you make that motion? Okay, there's a motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for that. No more citizens' participation. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion. Seeing no objection, that'll be the order. We stand adjourned. Stay tuned for Public Buildings Administration. All right, we'll call the Public Buildings Administration to order. All three members are present. Notice of the meeting was properly posted August 19th, 2025. First item is approval of minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 2 is claims. Is there a motion to approve claims?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Item number 3 is the report of fees. This is Mr. Monroe, and I don't see him. This is our standard monthly or weekly report of fees. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 4 is a rental for the event room for the purpose of the annual free fair.
I'll
Any
move the item.
questions? There's a motion to approve. And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That brings us to our citizen participation. I don't have anybody signed up. Board comments, Commissioner Lowe?
No comment?
No business, no new business. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
There's a motion to adjourn. Seeing no objection, that'll be the order. We stand adjourned. Thank you.